Local government is really the make or break to one person's day, potentially. Did you hit a pothole or not? Was power maintained at your house? We provide the ability of people to live their lives day to day. We can provide a quality of life depending on our ability to maintain our parks. We provide care at people's worst moments. So when you call the ambulance or when you call the police and need help. So it's really a variety of things. It's just interesting day to day.
We have this amazing mountain town that's built into the hillside and into the forest. When you take a big look at Ashland, you can't really tell where the forest ends and Ashland begins. We are part of the forest and the forest is part of us.
What's special about Ashland is it's a very small, tight-knit community. So a lot of people know a lot of people, and I think there's a genuine interest in getting to know your neighbors and getting to know people in the communities.
I love the community engagement here. It also drives me nuts sometimes, but I'd much rather have that high level of community engagement than the apathy that I've seen in other communities.
These are the people I want to spend my day with working, because I don't think you can really overvalue the people you get to work with day in and day out.
It's so important that the first time these kids have an interaction with a police officer not be at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I think the biggest misconception about a school resource officer is that we're there in the schools to get your students in trouble. And that's definitely not the truth. The NASRO, the National School Resource Officer Association, has like a triad. You're a teacher, you're an informal mentor, and you're a police officer. And that police officer is last, kind of as a point that you wear the uniform, but you're not there to get students in trouble. You're not there to get staff in trouble. You're there to be a resource for whoever you can in whatever situation they find themselves in.
What's different now as opposed to when we didn't have the position? I think that the mood of the community has shifted back toward wanting to engage with the police department. It's actually the kids that allowed us to get a foot in the door, because we engaged in a series of conversations with student leaders at the high school.
This is a really important opportunity to have those interactions in a positive way that's outside of those like really stressful situations that typically people do end up interacting with law enforcement in. So I think it's a way to build that relationship and rapport and communicate outside of those so that there is some trust established.
I am exceedingly proud of all of the work that the men and women of the Ashland Police Department do. They do such a great job. And there are, truth to be told, a lot of other accomplishments, but this is the one that we've been working toward for so many years, and we recognize that reestablishing the SRO program was such an important piece to continuing to build relationships, not just now, but in the future.
This is ultimately about the students. So we want to make sure that the students see police and law enforcement as a partner in their development, a partner in their growing, and once they become adult and positive members of our society, those relationships can be well established.
I think the reaction to having the SRO program back has been overwhelmingly positive. Now all the students are waving, all the families are waving, and I think we've done a good job of building that bridge back.
A Community Wildfire Protection Plan, or CWPP as we lovingly call them, is something that was created out of legislation back in 2003 called the Healthy Forest Restoration Act. The city actually jumped in right away after the Healthy Forest Restoration Act was passed and wrote a CWPP in 2004. That led to the creation of the Ashland Forest Resiliency Project and was wildly successful, brought in over $35 million to our local economy and got incredible risk reduction work done in our watershed, both to protect our community, our water source, and to improve forest health in the Ashland watershed.
The CWPP is a major accomplishment because wildfire is the greatest existential threat to the city. I don't know of any other community that has taken such an effort to focus on the built environment in a diversity of community perspectives. It calls for a paradigm shift in how we approach people, the educational process, the enabling process for them to do their risk reduction work.
On October 11, 2025, the City of Ashland held a community-wide evacuation drill. There aren't very many communities in the United States that have done this or even done it successfully. We had more than 300 people participate. We were able to gather traffic data from around town because in an evacuation, we kind of know that our roads, our current roads for our cities are not designed for mass outflow if people need to get out of the way of a fast-moving fire.
We looked at what other agencies are doing throughout the state and how they are handling the challenge of increased medical calls in their cities and in their communities. And one of those things was the implementation of a single role program. That single role program is simply personnel that are medically trained, either EMT basics or EMT paramedics, and all their function is to come in and staff an ambulance and to run 911 calls while they're on shift. In 2023, we had over 281 calls that we were not able to initially send either a fire unit or an EMS unit to that call upon initial dispatch. Fast forward to 2025, we are down to only 81 calls this year. So we've seen a 65% decrease in the times that we have not been able to send a unit out the door to respond to someone's emergency. Having resources available for immediate response to grass or wildland fire is paramount. And by having the single roles on duty, able to respond to and handle 911 calls, that gives our fire resources more of an opportunity to be in-house, be ready to respond to those calls with enough personnel to effectively mitigate an incident in its early stages.
We're a pretty rare gem when it comes to city services. So we have things like a federally regulated dam. We got water, we have wastewater, we have electric. And so when you're thinking of city staff, you have everything from chemists to linemen who work for the city. And so the complexity of that, given our 21,000 population, is quite large.
I think one of the things that's hard to convey to the public is the understanding of the logistics it requires to do what we call cradle-to-grave management of a project. So one of our big accomplishments over the last, I'd say, 10 years is really planning for and implementing huge changes and improvements to our wastewater treatment system and plant. And one of the primary capital projects that we had to implement to meet those permit requirements was relocating our effluent outfall from Ashland Creek to Bear Creek.
Wastewater is the most important thing that we do. Without it, I think the town would be unlivable in a matter of days and hazardous within weeks. It's taken for granted, which is just fine, but what the wastewater plant does is, in my opinion, it's amazing. There's no better word for it than it's disgusting. And it goes through the treatment process. We average over 2 million gallons a day. So if you've seen the Daniel Meyer Pool in Hunter Park, 20 of those every day show up at our wastewater plant, and we treat it to crystal clear, nearly drinkable water that goes back into the creek, and in most cases is cleaner than the water it goes into.
So our new water treatment plant project, we've actually started phase 1 of construction of that. Phase 1 is all of the off-site improvements, which is replacement of a culvert for Ashland Creek up above the swimming hole on Granite Street, and all the off-site piping. So that's the sewer lines, the water lines, electric utility, fiber, storm drain, all of that stuff, all of that infrastructure is being constructed right now in order for us to then facilitate what we call phase 2, which is actually construction on the site of the water treatment plant facility.
In the last 10 years, I think 9 of them, we've been recognized nationally for our excellence and reliability. And it's a nationwide comparison that you have to be in the top 25% of utilities for reliability metrics. And we've routinely accomplished that. So people in Ashland don't see too many outages. The accomplishment I want to highlight today is replacing old wood poles with modern fiberglass poles. So it kind of dovetails in with a lot of the wildfire mitigation work that's being done with other departments and kind of throughout the city, and just building that added resiliency into our system. And in the higher risk fire zones, kind of that interface is where we started mostly, the wildland urban interface area where the fire risk is the highest. And I think to date, we're just over 60 that we've replaced.
we do need to have housing available at every level for everyone in our community. It's important from top to bottom that anyone who's working and living in Ashland can have an affordable and safe place to live. Right now, that's very difficult. We live in a very beautiful area that's very desirable, and it's very expensive. And the average worker can't afford necessarily to buy a home here. So it actually stabilizes our entire community, our entire economy, to be able to have housing available to our workforce.
Over the last 20 years, the city has had some pretty forward-thinking affordable housing strategies. Zone changes and annexations require affordable housing. We also offer density bonuses for if somebody wants to provide affordable housing, they can build more market rate units. So over the last 2-3 decades, the city has created about 200 units of affordable housing with these partnerships.
Trusted Homes, for its first project, had the immense privilege of being donated 6 lots of land from the City of Ashland's land bank. And without these 6 lots of land, our first 6 homes would not be possible. Trusted Homes is a community land trust. We share ownership with a homeowner in order to reduce the costs for someone so that they can remove the cost of the land from the cost of their home. Yeah, the City of Ashland was the first city in the state of Oregon to develop a housing production strategy. And ever since, the city has really shown their deep commitment to making Ashland an attainable place to live, an affordable place to live.
The housing trust model ensures that that housing isn't really just for the first families that occupy it, but it stays affordable in perpetuity. And so each household thereafter also benefits from the investment of building that affordable housing. So it's vital for the City of Ashland to work with partners to develop the needed housing.
It is really hard to make new construction affordable. Construction is just expensive, and it takes a lot of work in a community to come together to be able to offset those costs and make sure that new homes are achievable for the average working family.
I think one of the things that's so incredible about the City of Ashland is the fact that we have such vibrancy and so much culture and so much life in such a tiny community. And it just brought me a lot of joy to know that I could continue to find high quality, intimate music experiences in such a tiny community.
We saw an opportunity to bring in younger generation into Ashland and to actually put on activities that engaged with the local community, not just the tourist. And so we fundraised and we got together enough funds to put on our first concert. And once again, Parks and Rec was just there to help facilitate. And I think they've done a really good job. What's wrong with putting on a free concert in the park with food and games and engaging families?
About 7,000 community members came to the shows and really had an opportunity to be joyful and play and relax with their kids and just have a really great time. And that wouldn't have been possible without the City of Ashland's support.
So I think what attracts me to this work is really the ability to have a positive impact on people's day-to-day life. And if you're going to spend your time doing something day-to-day, shouldn't it be something that makes people's life better?
It's a great community to be a part of, and I don't have any plans of leaving.
This is a great place to live. I don't think there's any other place quite like it, and I want to keep us all here.
You know, the best compliment we can really have is that you don't notice us, because that means that you drove to wherever you needed to go, and that trip was fine. You flushed the toilet, you turned on your lights, all was well. You went to the local park, your kid enjoyed it, and you don't really think about us. I think we're always happy to take praise, but not even noticing us is probably a good way to be too, because that means we're doing our job well.